Good morning, David Atkins, target individual, back by the grace of God. Um, all right. Well, I'm going to do something out of Robert Duncan's book called The Art of Deception and War, and it's just some little things he's talking about on how they trick us into believing stuff that's and fool us and have us some mind games they play on us. And then I'm going to go in, but first I'm going to start out with a word. But first, before I start out with a word, I found this interesting too. It said, and this is on some website I found, it said several researchers have commented on significantly higher numbers of women in population target individuals. One of the reasons for this could be compliance with U.S. Public Law 103-43, which requires that women and minorities be included in all clinical research studies as appropriate for the scientific goals of the work proposed. Additionally, NIH policy requires that women and members of minority groups and their subpopulations be included in phase 3 clinical trials in numbers adequate to allow for valid analysis of sex, gender, racial, and other ethnic and it keeps going on. Also states that children be included in human subject research is supported unless an acceptable justification for their exclusion is provided. And you can just look this law up yourself. You just type in U.S. Public Law 103-43. And I got to get into this information. But yeah, they're saying that's why more women are targeted than men, because they're every one of them. I mean, they're allowed to experiment on them by U.S. public law. All right, I'm coming out of Matthew 10:16 through 18, and I feel like this applies to us target individuals. And anyway, and then I'm going to go into the information I printed off. It says, "I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. Be on your guard. You will be handed over to local councils and be flogged in the synagogues. On my account, you will be brought before governors and kings as witnesses to them and to the Gentiles." Anyway, I think I relate to that a lot. I don't know if y'all do. All right, back to the information at hand. I'm calling this the art of deception and the art of war. All right, plausibly denied torture, often called no-touch torture or soft torture, is used extensively by governments. Of course, the euphemisms are misleading to readers. It is a form of the worse than lethal techniques where the person will beg for death every day, but technologies keep the body alive for further suffering. In physical renditions, they have come up with several new technologies to the public called maximum pain weapons. Active denial, ADS, active denial of service, classified as a non-lethal weapon, uses a pulsed 95 gigahertz microwave frequency to make the skin feel like it's on fire. Many describe it as many kinds of fiery pain. However, unless the tool is misused, no blisters or evidence will form on the body of the target. Ultrasonic and infrasound can resonate the body organ cavities to painful circumstances, but cannot be proved after the events. Now, of course, we were discussing newer, very high-tech torture methods that can induce pain in the target mind that has 99% deniability. Not even the best FBI agent with all their access to labs can figure this one out. DOD and CIA operatives brag about how they use the FBI to close out these cases. And unfortunately, a couple FBI agents have been tortured, and not even they get national press or justice. Everyone gets betrayed in these war games or COINTEL programs. And he goes on this, he goes, art of war, the art of deception. First casualty of war is truth. That's a common proverb. And then he says, all warfare is based on deception. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. We must appear like ghosts in the twilight. Victory is in conquering the other commander's mind. Hold out baits to entice the enemy, feign disorder, and crush him. That's Sun Tzu. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is temperamental, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak that he may grow arrogant. If he's taken his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. If sovereign and subject are in accord, put division between them. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. The U.S. secret agencies made a classic blunder by testing torture and mind control techniques selected on Americans. Napoleon warned, you must not fight too often with one enemy or you will teach him all your art of war. The only antidote or inculcations to deception and government propaganda is truth. Tricks, illusion, and psychology of magic. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic to a lesser advanced civilization. Witchcraft to the ignorant, simple science to the learned. Lay Brackett said that. Magic and illusions work because the audience is tricked into false common assumptions. This is why wizardry is considered deception by the Bible and the devil's work. The U.S. intelligence agents are often called wizards behind the national security curtain because of their use of advanced science and deception. Chess works on strategy, sacrifice, and deception. How many war games and simulations does it take to see all the possible outcomes before the real game is played? Is psychic warfare on the world's population a continuing evolving culture virus, or a way to lock people's reality into a disbelief state of how far the masters of the game have gone? False correlations and false assumptions is how magic works. Magic inspired awe and wonder in the past civilizations created power through illusion. Even the Aztecs would bow down before those who claimed to be empowered by God through a demonstration of a solar eclipse as they chopped off the head of other tribes to please their false gods. False correlations and mysticism created early medicine. President George Washington was bled to release the evil demons that made him sick. The bleedings ended up killing him. Trickery has its roots in many centuries earlier. Hallucinogenic molds that grow in bread were hypothesized to create the Salem witch trials. The Chinese royalty used black root fungus to slowly drive their competitors for power crazy. Kevin Mart was taken out of prison and consulted for the FBI to demonstrate how he would hack into computers, mostly through social engineering trickery and not technical flaws in coding and security. His book is called The Art of Deception. The over-exuberant government kept him in solitary confinement because they convinced the judge that he could whistle into a phone and start a nuclear war. Scary how out-of-touch people are in power. There are many categories of trickery used in neurological warfare: cognitive trickery, memory trickery, visual trickery, auditory trickery, and other perception and sensory trickery. And here is excuse me, it's my wet towel I put over my head. It helps it ease when they hit me in the back of the head. Oh, anyway, here is a list of some dirty tricks by the tricky dicks in the CIA is what he put in comedy. Anyway, trick. Make the target believe there's an implant in their teeth. Some will mutilate themselves to try to remove the implants. This also works with ear and nasal cavities. Am I saying, if you think you got one in your teeth, that you're crazy? No, I'm not. This is Robert Duncan talking. I'm coming straight out the book. I know people have them, though I'm not saying at all. I'm just saying they trick some people is what he's saying. Okay. Increase stress by telling the target they are being irradiated and will get cancer and become sterile. Increase paranoia by using neighbors, friends, and family voices to make them think they're plotting against the victim. Or use world leader voices for false flag prepping of a Manchurian candidate. Now, some of that's real too. So you got to be able to see through it. Trick on the public. Hiding the technology in plain view by spoofing in science fiction movies and TV shows desensitizes the public to development and widespread use. Censor books and news stories of great importance through making the topic boring, but making the life of a celebrity or some other world event seem important. This technique is called the occupation of mind. Any media distraction works. It's similar to how musicians use sleight of the hand. Individualization, both in scripts and targeted. Believe the technology is being used by a neighbor or coming from mobile phone towers. Keep people from using electronic equipment which creates EM noise and to isolate them from information. Sleep deprivation. No rest for the wicked script. Usually 5 days without sleep, then forced sleep for 2 days, repeat a cycle for months to years. Sleep deprivation is different than sleep alteration patterns according to the Pentagon documents. Silent and clean, hence no blood murders. Indirection. Handles and handlers, proxy wars, less risk to cowardly people instigating the wars. There's an unperceived technological gap allowing for these crimes to continue. The disinformation campaigns in movies and TVs also cause a standard norm of disbelief, hiding behind executive privilege and state secrets curtain. And that's all, folks. I'll be back on here tomorrow. I just found that and wanted to read it. I thought it was interesting. But anyway, if y'all got a topic y'all would like me to do a video on, please put it in the comments. Other than that, y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Sorry for the rag. It just helps. You just don't know how much it helps. So anyway, God bless y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.